Well, good morning and thank you very much for joining us. I am Iyori Folarin. Thank God it's Friday. We say that because it's Friday. I don't know why we don't say thank God it's Wednesday. Well, my guest that I was, looking at there, in case you're wondering who I was looking at, that's Mr. Olusegun Okunade, Chartered Accountant, tax professional, and public affairs analyst. As always, it's great to have you on.
Good morning, sir. Thank God it's Friday, like you said.
Indeed.
That is the only time you can prepare for the fun, the merriment, the overwhelm. But for this particular weekend, I think something is going to stall it. Okay, we'll go. We'll go. And also, we'll be speaking with Mr. Peter Esele. I think I should be saying Comrade Peter Esele. It's been a long time we've seen the comrade in flesh. Good morning, Peter, former President TUC and former President of Pengasan. A fine morning to you, Comrade Peter Esele.
Good morning.
Well, we're happy we could get you this morning because we've been wanting to get your commentary on what's been going on, but it will happen this morning. Now, let's start off because we want to look at two subjects today. Well, first of all, there's a bit more than a bit more meat on the bone of the Kyari bone. More than a bit more meat. We thought it was something we could just look at and leave, but every day seems to be adding yet another piece to the whole puzzle. So let's take a package that we have from studio here and then we'll talk about it.
It's more than a week that Nigerians began to experience scarcity of premium motor spirits, PMS, popularly known as petrol. From endless queues to people resorting to buying the products in containers just to refuel their vehicles. Moving around mainland area of Lagos, it was observed that some filling stations were selling petrol above the recommended pump price. Many residents now resort to buying petrol from black markets. Some motorists on queue at the filling stations share the vast opinion about the development.
We have some people who are paying millions of naira every month to expect fuel before the flood date. So this is very, very bad. We don't have government. It's appalling. My friend Tuesday, madam. I'm very sad. President is supposed to, Minister of Petrol is supposed to resign. The group manager of NNPC is supposed to resign. I'm telling you, these two people, they are people killing us. What are you doing? The president already left the country. When the problem is the country.
It's only God can settle us. When have you been there? Since 5 o'clock now. How to say anything about government?
The only downside to this is the traffic. Like yesterday, I spent almost 45 minutes trying to navigate from there to just beyond Mobile.
The food scarcity crisis has, however, worsened traffic situation in the metropolis as many commuters are stranded at bus stops. Sharon Jackson, TVC News.
Well, indeed, and thanks to Sharon Ijason there. She also updated us yesterday morning on the program and continued with that as TVC News continued throughout the day. Well, there you are. One of the motorists that Sharon featured in there, I guess he probably was echoing the minds of many Nigerians. I think the gentleman there said, "I'm very sad." And why wouldn't he be? Because you see, when this happened, okay, accidents happen everywhere. But we did get assurances from NNPC that, by the end of last week, it would have been fixed in Lagos. And then we were to hear that we have 1 billion liters of fuel in storage. So this is no problem. By the end of last week, Lagos would have been sorted. By the middle of this week, 2 days ago, Abuja would have been sorted. No, everybody knows that's not the case. So people are angry. People have called for the suspension, if not the dismissal, of the chief of NNPC. You can't dismiss the Minister of Petroleum. That's the president. The next best thing, if you're not going to dismiss the Minister of State for Petroleum. So, well, let me come to Peter. Peter, what's your sense? What's your sense of what's going on? Because we got assurances, as I was saying, from the people who bring in the fuel. NNPC, it says we have 1 billion liters, that people should not panic. They were advising us, do not panic buy, do not stock up petrol. And look at how we are. We don't have petrol today. What's your sense of what went wrong in all the plannings? Because it couldn't have been a lie that they have 1 billion liters of fuel in storage. What's your sense, Peter?
It's also possible they have, but these are all logistical nightmare. And when I heard about 1 week, I know it was not possible. I think the earliest they can get this thing right will be next week, by next weekend. The other guest said something is going to be wrong with the weekend. I think yes, the weekend is still going to be very slow. People are still going to queue for fuel. But hopefully by next weekend, then we can have a ray of hope. You are also aware that truckloads of fuel were also turned back coming from Brussels. And the reason why that was turned back was that there was also apprehension that is like
shipload.
Yes.
You said truckload. Shipload.
Yes, that was turned back. Yes, shipload. I'm sorry about that. Shipload of fuel was coming in from Brussels, and they had to turn it back because of the apprehension of about there's going to be fake is also fake. So what we have is systemic problem. Somebody was talking about, we've had this before. This is not the first time this is happening, but it's telling us that we're not learning from it. I think it happened before. I think it was during Abacha or so, when we had sulfur in the petrol. And what we have here is that there are supposed to be point of loading tests, and also when we are receiving the product, there's also supposed to be another test. And even smelling it, you will know that there's too much methanol in this petrol. And how that beat the entire system, and we are in this mess, is mind-boggling. And when people are sad, I think is really, really sad.
Indeed. As you were saying, Peter, how this kind of dirty fuel, how it beat the entire system that we have, it's not unlike our second topic, the whole Kiari affair. How that beat the system, and he continues to relate as if he's a police officer not on suspension until all of this, maybe too much noise now will cause him to desist. He can't even do anything anymore because he's still a guest of NDLEA. But there you have it. Give me your thoughts, because Peter just helped us out by saying that it's a logistical nightmare. Now, you people into accountancy and taxation and all of that, logistics is one of your fortes. These things, is it rocket science?
Yeah, I think what Peter said is a bit right. But I want to say that, do we even have a system? It's when you have a system, you can say how the whole thing
because I was going to say what you meant by a bit. Okay, it's because you're saying, do we even have a system?
When you have a system, you have mechanism to checkmate those things. Those things are just there, but nobody is actually looking at it. We know how corruption has entrenched into the system. It's like, okay, Yori, I know you, you are my person, I bring in product, we are used to one another. Every Friday, we are always together. So if I bring things to you, do I need to overvet what is happening? He just said that ordinarily from smelling the fuel, you could perceive something is wrong. But where you don't even visit where the thing was discharged, and you bring the paper to the table, and because we are man no man, things must. That's why we've said that the problem we have in the country, it's not about policy. It's about people being patriotic to the extent to make the system to work.
This is, quite frankly, embarrassing to the administration. Look, okay, you can say it's not the fault of the administration. I mean, let's just say that for the moment, that somehow we got a...
But I would say it's the fault of it. Because by now, the MD should not be on the seat.
Okay.
In a sane climb, what would have happened is voluntarily.
You know what I meant?
He would have resigned.
Lest I be eaten alive. You know what I meant when I said you can say it's not the fault of the administration, in the sense that the accident, the original accident, let's concede without agreeing that it could have happened to anybody. But after that, after it was discovered, and don't forget that we were told that, look, by the time you people knew in Lagos, and by the time it spread all over, that they had known over in NNPC for about 10, 15 days.
Yeah, over 2 weeks.
Over 2 weeks before all of this happened. So now that we have the emergency, what are the people in charge doing? Not just in charge in NNPC, there's a whole government. What's this whole matter about logistics? Because I can believe Peter when he says logistical challenges. What are all those logisticians? Is there any such thing? What are they doing? Peter, what do you think? Why this kind of a mess? Because it's a stink, really.
You see, most times he made references to system. Why I always use the word system is that in terms of management, you said process, system plus process equals growth. Now, if you are going to ask, just look at, I'm talking to you now, you are representing TVC. Those who founded TVC are not in the studio. You owe it to yourself. It's your duty and it's your responsibility. Because every one of us no longer see anything we are doing as a duty or as a responsibility. The president is not going to come and tell us how to move petrol from point A to point B. So what we also have is a total collapse of values. What do you stand for? What do we stand for? Is it that we encourage mediocrity? So when you encourage such, this is what you get. And so when Nigerians, yes, it's good for us to be sad, but it's also good for us to now take stock. Because it's just like computer, garbage in, garbage out. Mm-hmm. This is who we are. Let us not deceive ourselves.
Okay. Now,
this is who we are.
Well,
we don't do things right.
Painful. Peter, it's a very painful thing that you just said. Many people will feel it as ouch, but they will not be able to query you because it's happening day in, day out. Peter alluded to some things in there. So he didn't say that particular phrase, but isn't this really about square pegs, having square pegs in square holes and round pegs in round holes? But when we just do anyhow, I'm sorry to be a bit angry this morning. When you just do anyhow and you put whatever peg your hand grabs in whatever hole is available, it follows that some of them will be square if you happen to have a square peg by the law of luck and probability, but some will not. So this whole matter about, do we know what we're doing? Even at the whole government level, at the appointment level, people that are appointed, and after they've been appointed, Peter was pointing out that, look, it's not the president that's going to come here and do it. But people that are appointed into these places, nothing happens.
Uncle Yori, even if you have the round peg in the round hole, and there are no control mechanism, they will say accountants at times are tough. If there are no control mechanism, if there are, the other thing that leads is punishment for anyone that erred from the set policies. And that is part of the problem we are faced with across board, not only in NNPC. It's across board. When somebody carries out something that is against the set rules, what do we do to serve as deterrent to others? I watched the GMD of NNPC apologizing. The question is, the apology granted, is that going to fix the vehicles of an average guy? A guy contacted me yesterday and was crying. He bought this fuel. It has affected his source of livelihood.
Of course.
And he was just begging me, sir, can I even get up to 70,000? Maybe after 2-3 weeks. I will refund back so that I can fix the vehicle. How many of such people do we have? Is it just to come and say, we are sorry? Will sorry redeem the damages and the havoc that we have caused? Look at the interview that we had. Several people on the queue. 5 a.m. when you are supposed to be on your bed. Do you know the health implication of what we are saying? I traveled yesterday, a journey of 1-2 hours because of the queue. Had to cost us about 6 hours.
Yeah. Now, Peter, you had said that it's a logistical nightmare. I think everybody can agree with you that because let's for the moment just say that, okay, when NNPC says it has 1 billion liters in storage somewhere, how to now get it to the fuel pumps is the next issue, and that's the logistical nightmare. Didn't they know their logistical limitations when they were telling us that they would have fixed Lagos by the middle of last week, and they would and Abuja would be fixed by the end of last week, and Abuja will be fixed this week, middle of this week. This whole logistical issue problem, there's an issue of trust now. How do you want society in Nigeria to believe what those in authority tell us? Mr. The GMD of NNPC, he's been apologizing, but we were taking him as an authority. He told us this. Nobody can know better than him, and look at the mess we're in now. We have a problem, perhaps. Some people say we even have a problem of governance generally.
Yes, we also cannot take away the panic buying aspect of it. I live in Lagos. And I got fuel. Not I didn't go to the pump station because I know you will say, oh, if you go there because former president of Pengasin, it's easier for you to get it. My driver actually went there and he got it in probably long 45 minutes, 50 minutes, he was out of the place. But then it was supposed to be a 5 minutes or 6 minutes.
That's right.
You have people already also doing panic buying because of the lack of trust you are talking about. People don't believe what government is saying. So as a result, everybody is queuing up to go get fuel. But what I want us to lay emphasis on, first of all, is for us to analyze how did this happen? Why did it happen? And how do we ensure that it never happens again?
So that's what we
control measures that must be put in place.
Peter, that's what we have to get to the bottom of. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
That is the issue we need to get to the bottom of.
Yes, that is the issue, because if you don't deal with that, it's going to happen again. And because the other guest also made reference to that, and because of the effort, there are no deterrents. Nobody pays for anything. Now you have the marketers who imported these products. Now you'll be looking at the back and forth. I've been reading their statement, NNPC initial statement and their own statement. They said they met the NNPC standard. NNPC said, no, you did not meet our standard. So that back and forth is an insult to Nigerians.
Yeah.
That those who imported this product, the marketers are supposed to come out straight with us. And then we know, why is this actually what NNPC asked them to bring to the country?
Yeah.
Why do you have this amount of methanol in that product?
In that fuel.
Then you deal with that. After dealing with that, then those guys who brought in this product are either going to be blacklisted. Once you blacklist them, and let me also tell you, there are other expense that is going to go with this. For you to clean that product, cleaning it alone will cost you over 100 billion. Who is going to pay for that?
One moment, please, Peter. One moment, please. I have a caller on the line. One moment, please. Forgive me for interrupting you, Mr. Lawale Nikorodu. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Professor Yori Folani. Long time, and my friend there, Professor Kwade, and the comrades. Yeah, please let me quickly summarize Nigeria's problem for you this morning.
You think you can do that? You think you can quickly summarize Nigerians' problem? Go ahead, sir.
Yes.
Go ahead, sir.
One is corruption, one is impunity, one is indiscipline, one is incompetence, then finally lack of consequence. No, people just do things and they say nothing will happen. But in Nigeria, okay, look at the problem we are going through now. Okay, in Nigeria, what is the head of NNPC still doing on his seat? Downstream sector, upstream sector, what are they still doing there? And finally, the head of Standard Organization of Nigeria. Exactly. I mean, it is bad.
Exactly.
The Europeans and Americans are just laughing at us. As Comrade Jele said, when the ship is about to leave, they ought to carry out tests. Then when it lands in Nigeria, they will carry out tests. Even before they discharge into the tank farms, they will carry out tests. When they bring fuel for us in the station, we normally take samples. Okay, label it. Yes. In case there is problem. What happened to all those these things? Look, God will deliver Nigeria. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lawale. I told you, when you said you were going to analyze the problems of Nigeria, you then got to a stage and look, God bless Nigeria. I understand you. I understand you. And this is part of the problem that we're facing here. In fact, have you noticed, Jason, that the principles that we've got from what we are speaking about this morning, they apply to the other subject we're going to come to in a bit. Exactly. This whole police situation with Abba Kyari, the whole corruption in the police, police blaming police blaming NDLEA, said, but bring out your own culprits too. It's not only us. Those ones are saying, no, there are no culprits. So this passing of the buck, and as Peter Seller has said, it's going to happen until we get to the bottom of it. And the gentleman, Mr. Lawale, when he was speaking, he said what Nigerians have been saying. Peter said it. I think you have also said it, that there's this culture of impunity. Nothing happens. No matter how much you break the nations, the most expensive China, so to speak, you know, just using the analogy of a home. Nothing happens. Nothing will happen. And people don't, no head has rolled yet.
You know, the language of an average Nigerian everywhere is nothing they happen. You will see a law enforcement agency following one way. So what do you expect someone who is not a law enforcement agency to do? That is one, even in his own vehicle. He is seated in front of a commercial bus. When you are supposed to serve as someone to tell them not to do it, you are there, you are saying, follow that one way, endangering the life of people on the road. What do you get? Because we have lost the... Uncle Yori, while some of us were growing up, I don't know whether we inherited it from you. There's a particular subject we learned in primary school, moral instruction. In fact, they dedicate days where they have to teach you core values, what is expected of you as a person. And those are the things that were guiding while we're growing up.
There was a time they used to teach civics in secondary school.
Of course.
Remember? They used to
when you bring things that does not belong to you, and your parents see such thing, you dare not show it.
You see now.
But what do we have now?
Muiwa is calling in. Where's Muiwa calling in from? Good morning. In Bauchi. Muiwa in Bauchi. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Uncle Yori.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'm one of the first callers in this your program. I've been sure all this while, but not reach you, sir.
Oh, we're so delighted you could make it this morning. Thank you very much. Go ahead, please.
I want to analyze Nigerian problem in three ways. Nigeria has no problem except I can solve Nigeria in three ways. Nigeria problem number one is corruption. Number two is cultural rate of power 2. Number 3 is cultural rate of power 3. And in as far as Nigeria keep on indulging this corruption, they can never get anything right in this country. Thank you, sir. This morning, sir.
Well, thank you very much for calling in. People are angry. Yeah, it started off with Mr. Lawale, and we just got it here as well. People are angry, and so they're telling us these truths. No, we can't fault what they're saying, but it's not as if that is all that we are. It just so happens that people will cock up and put us all in this problem. Somebody went as far as saying, I think it was Mr. Lawale, that people are laughing at us because this is not rocket science.
Because we are not doing what is expected.
Yeah.
And aside this problem, Uncle Yori, daily, every day, individual citizens are getting frustrated. Have you seen the level of depression people are entering into? People setting themselves ablaze? People killing one another?
Where?
There was a news that somebody just...
We don't protest like that. In Asia somewhere.
Yeah.
Somebody was annoyed enough to set himself ablaze.
Yes, people jumping into the lagoon.
Okay.
It's born out of frustration.
Mr. George in Ikeja, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling
I greet the guest with you and Peter Esele.
Yeah.
Uncle Yori, initially I said the president can be exonerated from this blame. He is exonerated. I still feel he's exonerated as far as the immediate action that needed to be taken by NNPC is concerned. But he cannot be exonerated from what has been happening now. Inability to address the problem. Somebody is not doing his work. Somebody is not capable of doing his work. The NNPC GMD is apologizing. Are we going to eat apology? What is he doing to address the problem? He is not able to address it. So he should go. You know why I'm saying this? Uncle Yori, we're talking about petrol now. Don't forget that Nigeria is so import driven. The food we eat, a lot of it comes from outside this country.
Yeah.
If food is poisoned like this, you know what will happen? All of us will die. And if nothing is done in this type of a thing now,
yes,
that's how it will graduate to other products.
That's right.
And then somebody is not held to account. Impunity will just reign, and people will just be dying like that. Where are we going from here?
God forbid bad thing, as we say locally. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. George. I got to go on a break now. Please stay with us. Comrade Peter Seller will be back. Stay with us, please. Well, welcome back. Still with Comrade Peter Sele. He's joining us via Zoom, former President TUC and former President as Pengerson as well. And in studio, Olusegun Okunade, Chartered Accountant, Chartered Tax Professional, and Public Affairs Analyst. Comrade, coming over to you again, you made the crucially important point of we've got to interrogate this cock-up so that it doesn't happen again. Now, we say that every time we have a crisis, and it hasn't changed yet. So give us some ideas. How are we going to interrogate this thing that shows that some people weren't doing their job?
The reason why they get away with it is also the media. The media is the fourth estate of the realm. Now, if you have the executive and the legislature, and they are all in the same camp, the media is supposed to put a spotlight on it. Now, you've been on this topic for a number of days. I know how far your colleague is always calling me, and we've not been able to get the right be on the same wavelength. So I know how far you guys have been on this. And once they finish, it's the media's responsibility to say, we want to see the report. And the media to now continue to say, okay, fine, if we have this report, these are the timeline for you to do this. Now, take for example, from 1999 to date, why will our refineries not work? From 1999 to date, why are we still importing petroleum products? From 1999 to date, why can't we tackle the issue of subsidy? You see, most times Nigerians can say, oh, they are sad over issues like this. But I'll tell you, on one hand, I'm not sad. Why I'm not sad is that this is who we are. And I keep saying it. We are not detailed. We are not thorough. We lack discipline. You have policy flip-flop. So what do you expect to get? You are going to go on your underline.
Although, comrade, you can't say that as a generic. Hopefully, you can't say it as a generic, assertion. There are other Nigerians that are not like that. They might not be center and forward.
Let me give you an example. If you have 20%, Pareto's law is 20-80. If you 20% can drive this economy, 20% hardworking, resourceful can drive the economy anywhere. That's Pareto's law. So we don't have the 20%. There are hardworking Nigeria, but they are just tiny lights inside darkness. So that is what we are facing. So if you're telling me now that you suddenly want Nigeria to be Eldorado, it's not going to happen.
You know, this kind of a thing.
We must identify.
Sorry, sir. In other climes, in other areas of the world, this kind of a mess would actually cost the ruling party dearly. Here we are. I was reading that we're just exactly 1 year away. All other things being equal, if INEC still does go ahead and, if it is able to release the timetable, we're actually exactly a year away. In other areas of the world, we hear that this kind of thing could cost the ruling party in charge right now dearly. It doesn't matter who you bring. You're in trouble because you've annoyed the citizens and they can't see the reason for it.
Yes, but over time again, these same citizens we are talking about, when it gets to the election time, they are going to forget this and start asking, oh, is a Yoruba man, is an Hausa man, is an Igbo man, is an Edo man. Instead of asking, can he put food on my table?
Yes.
Can he guarantee education for my children? So the other climb you are talking about, they are able to interrogate and know what is best for themselves. While in this climb, we are still tending towards primordial sentiment. That is why it's so easy for the politicians to manipulate the people.
Let me at this stage quickly apologize to Mr. Opara in VI. I'm so sorry. Good morning, sir. Please go ahead now.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you.
Good morning to the guests over there.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, Uncle Jerry, I must commend you and TVC for the good work you are doing. Shout it in the air, let the heaven and the earth hear it. But the more you shout, the people that are concerned have their deaf ear. They don't listen to Nigerians. So, but do what you're supposed to do. We say we are fighting corruption. Is there any corruption that is more than this? What is happening in the nation today? There's no corruption that is more than that. And the authority that's supposed to have done something, they are keeping quiet. The nation is on fire. people are suffering. It's not their concern. So please, all our prayer is that let this cup pass over Nigeria. Remember 1 year and let it pass over. Or else, Nigerians will. It's terrible.
All right then.
We are a country in the midst of our brothers.
We get you.
In the world.
We get
There's
you.
nothing to boast for.
Indeed.
It's alarming. It's disgusting. Please continue to pray. Let this cup pass over us in the next year, in the next election.
All right then. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Time will come. They will make their pitches. Maybe, and in any case, there's still some time. So maybe they can still explain it to the satisfaction of Nigerians. I mean, never say never. We don't know. It's just that one never expected this kind of a thing to happen. Do I have anybody on the line? No, it doesn't seem that I have anybody on the line for now. So this is the situation that we have on our hands. Nigerians are said to be so forgiving. We have a very short memory. I mean, between now and the next election is about a year. If they can quickly tidy up and clean up, hopefully Nigerians will forget about it. But everybody is watching this with very, very keen interest. And quite frankly, it smacks of incompetence. I can't think of any other way to put it. It just smacks of incompetence.
There is no other word, Uncle Yori, sincerely speaking. And that's the problem we are faced with, that the trust deficit the gap keeps widening day by day. If the GMD, the genesis of this problem was no, there was no adulterated fuel. Thereafter, we came out and say, yes, we've discovered it. This is what is happening. We came thereafter to say, after we have discovered, we are going to close this up within certain period. And people are not getting those things. It's like telling one lies against one. Now we've had it 2 weeks. Lagos was supposed to close last week. Do you know there are certain set of people that they said, okay, the GMD has said in the next 1 week, Lagos will be at rest. Let me just stay at home for this 1 week. By next week, I should be able to get fuel. Peter said something. The driver went there, as against 6 minutes, used about 45 minutes to an hour. How do you account? Do you know the problem with accountant is time? We even account for it. Yes. How do you account for that difference of 45 to 50 minutes you have actually wasted?
You simply don't. You don't.
You can't.
Now, Peter also was saying that you can't remove an element of panic buying. Well, okay, but as far as the petrol stations that I visited, as a consumer, just looking for fuel myself, at least the one that I was finally able to get some fuel on, there were limitations. Say, look, number one, no keg. So God knows what happens to your generator. No, we will not sell into any keg. Number two, even your car. It doesn't matter if you bring Peter Kelly's kind of car, which must be one hefty kind of heavy-duty Jeep. You cannot buy more than 5K. You cannot buy more than 5,000 naira worth of fuel. So I don't know if that is sort of to help the process, whatever.
Already there is no panic buying. The purchasing power is low. An average Nigerian will always buy 1,105 into their vehicles. When they need it, they buy. So if why do I get money to buy the fuel when there is no money in the pocket?
And one more little detail that I experienced, I don't know if this is general. The fuel attendant, the petrol pump attendant said, how do you want to pay? Is it by card? I said, yeah. He says, no. So if I didn't happen to have 5,000 naira cash, I would have wasted all of that time, because the man simply said, sorry, the law for now is that if you want fuel, we'll sell into your car, and that will be 5,000 naira, thank you very much, and nothing into your keg as well. But okay, we spent some time on this. Please permit me, let's switch over, because we wanted to touch on the other subject matter, which is, what is now being referred to as the cocaine scandal in Nigeria Police, NDLEA/Nigeria Police argument among them. All sorts of articles are out there online. Police Commission suspends 2 indicted officers. Look, Peter, let me bring this across to you as you're a labor leader, you're a labor chieftain. It's not exactly fuel, but hey, you're Nigerian, and all these things are interconnected. I was making the point earlier that a lot of the things you are saying also apply in the case of this one.
Now, I was scribbling something on this issue of. I wanted to do an article on it.
Okay.
On this issue of Nigerian police and NDLEA. First of all, it's an embarrassment, and the Nigerian police is coming out of this even messier. Why? When I read, first of all, I watched one of the television stations network on one of the network news at night, and I watched the media officer for the Nigerian police try to distance themselves from what Abba Kyari had done.
Mm-hmm.
First, he said Abba Kyari is on suspension, so he's no longer part of the police and what have you. But he's on suspension with pay, which means he's still part of the police.
Yeah.
So police cannot, and again, he's a deputy commissioner of police. Now, the police issued a statement. Their statement was, you see, is not our making, but you guys also have your criminal element. So you guys also have to bring out your criminal element. That, of course, is arrogance. It's arrogance of the highest order to tell you how the decay in the Nigerian police. What the police statement referred, my own understanding of that police statement, is to tell you that they are indirectly condoning all of these activities that has been happening. Because for you to also have a deputy commissioner of police who is on suspension and also involved in carrying out a deal, cocaine deal, also tells you that he just knows that he's untouchable. And that's what we're talking about, the area of impunity. Of nobody cares. And then nothing, let me use this pidgin English slang, nothing will happen. That is also what you see playing out.
You know, that's a scary sentence you made just there. That nothing.
It is, but that is what we are getting. That is what we are getting.
People are saying it already. People are saying nothing will happen. Just wait to look at this whole thing. It will blow over and it will go away. Well, we hope the noise has been enough for it not to be the case. Yes, for this, because right now, as Peter was saying, there are very, very embarrassing angles coming out of this between the police and NDLEA. And unfortunately, it's also a typical. Let me limit myself to where I hear the most. I hear the argument in Yoruba land where, but I'm not the only one.
Yes.
It's all right, but I'm not the only one. No, but nobody is telling us that you are the only one. But let's address this case that we have seen, that we have here. But then you will hear, but I'm not the only one. Bring out your own thieves too. You can't just try to be looking at me.
Onkiori, like Peter said, it's quite disheartening that this is happening. If you remember the way Abba was celebrated at the National House of Assembly, it's demoralizing to know that this is the same man that will be discussing his issue like this. But I said this somewhere this morning, and I said, for me, because of the process we undergo in this country, it takes longer time, because most of the time, we might see in a very short while that will come out and say this thing that has happened with all the evidences are just like scam, nothing happened. And that's why I have said that for us, this issue of cocaine and all this scandal that has happened, can we please put it aside and pick up with the AGF to please process the extradition of Abba to US. Let's hear, because you know their own process. They already have the evidence on ground. It would take long. Look at when Hush Puppy was being investigated here. It was taking forever. When they swing into action, so that we first take care of that, because there are a lot of cases that we are talking of now. Let's have it from the outside. Although somebody was telling me that we start from the in-house, then we go outside. No, so this kind of a thing, let's start from outside. Because this case, as we are starting,
somebody had the opinion that on this program, I think it was a day or two ago, that the Nigerian situation, the Nigeria Abba Kyari aspect of Abba Kyari, is a bigger issue than the one they are wanting him for in the US.
To me,
okay,
even that smaller one, I will now use the Yoruba proverb. Let's start from the smaller part. If we believe that the one they are actually picking him for is bigger, let's go out there, do what they need to do. When we have the result there, I think that might even give us a guide on some of the things that we need to do internally here.
You know, yeah, because the police service
because it's a trade game, everybody is blaming one another.
I think I was reading a statement from the Police Service Commission that they should be advised on progress in this whole case. You know, the details of it escape me right now, and they said Abba Kyari, you know, who is on suspension, remains so. I said, what are we talking about?
But you remember that the first set of people that was to carry out the investigation, the report was turned down by the Police Service Commission.
Well,
and we set up another one. How much of such are we going to do before we get to the end of this matter?
Well,
but again, Yori,
yes,
Yori, the Police Service Commission is not fit for purpose. Now,
not fit for purpose.
Not fit for purpose. Now, why am I saying that? In other crime, you will have every department has what you call Inspector General. And that Inspector General's position is that he's independent and he can investigate whatever is going on, and his finding is not questionable, and you cannot sack the person either. So now, Police Service Commission, who is the chairman of the Police Service Commission? A former IG. And you are now asking a former IG, who is part of the rot, or who was part of the rot, to not be the one to correct the rot in the system. That's why I told you he's not fit.
But some of those former IGs, Peter, that have been speaking have said they've voiced their own anger and have insisted that we must get to the bottom of this.
Now, somebody can voice anger and say, let's get to the bottom. It's different from somebody can come to the press and say, we are going to deal with it to the best of our ability. It will not happen again. That is just grammar. What you now need to look at is what are the systems to ensure that it will not happen again.
Right. That's right.
Now, you may not take this. Yes, it's the system, the process that you must not making noise. That's why I said the Police Service Commission is not fit for purpose. If it is fit for purpose, the first thing they would have done, with all those reports, evidence they have from FBI, in a week they'll get to the bottom of that, and this guy would have been dismissed. Indeed. First, you dismiss him. That's what they do all over. Once you have enough evidence, this guy would have been dismissed. To protect the institution. The first thing you protect is not the individual. In the union, we are told that if your interest and that of the union collides, you must go. So the first thing you defend is institution. When I listened to the guest in the studio, he said something that they should extradite him to America first before we now. The reason why he's saying that is because he has trust deficit.
Yes.
If he actually believes, yes, it is the foundation of that statement, from our understanding, is trust deficit, because he believes that if Abba Kyari is here, no justice will be done, and everything will be swept under the carpet.
Yeah.
That is the trust deficit.
Let me, talking about the UK, I beg your pardon, Mr. Ade in the UK has been waiting for a while, so apologies to you, sir. Mr. Ade in the UK, go ahead now.
Good morning, Dr. Yori. I won't take apology. You have to compensate me.
Okay, sir.
With pound sterling.
All right, sir.
Now, on a serious note, you see, this issue of corruption that is disturbing Nigeria is a serious issue. Mr. Shetan was making a point, but it seems he didn't get it. Who is the disciplinarian? Who will discipline these people? Who is going to checkmate them? That is the most important thing. Because when somebody, before Abba Kyari can go out and do what he's doing, he's reporting to some people. He's settling some people. That is exactly what is happening.
That is what people think.
No courage.
People think that. People think he must be.
That's what. Yeah, of course. Mr. Yori, look, two weeks ago, a footballer here in his own house slapped his own cat in his kitchen. His brother filmed it and posted it. You know, he paid for he paid 2 weeks' wages, £250,000. They fined him for beating his own cat, and they didn't allow him to play the last match. A footballer in his own kitchen, a cat.
Yes. So that's accountable.
Can you imagine?
And that wasn't government. I think that was just the Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals or something like that. Yeah. You know.
No, it's the cry of the people.
Yeah.
They listen to the cry of the people. That's what I'm saying. People in Nigeria are crying now. People are damaged. Their vehicle are damaged for wrong petrol. Abba Kyari is doing this. There are some people behind him. Let me round up with this. In a church, I won't mention the company. A guy was transferred from the American company to Nigeria, to Abuja. When he got to Abuja, he was happy that he's in his cousin just to work. And one of his cousins came to him and said, if you have 2 accounts, can you let us use one?
in the ministry that every month you get something, and they will put in 600 million, whatever million there. And the guy said no. He came here to London for one holiday, and he was telling us, he said corruption is too much in Nigeria. If he agreed, you can imagine. This is how they siphon money, but nobody could discipline them.
Okay.
You see, the president says it's overwhelmed.
But Mr. Ade in the UK, there's corruption everywhere, including that very UK we are staying from. Remember, even Prime Minister Boris Johnson, you know, there's a scandal going on about, you know, he was breaking COVID regulations, but people at least...
It's not corruption. He did party.
What?
Our Prime Minister did party in his house. Party. It's not corruption. He did party.
It's not corruption.
He confessed that he did party.
It's not corruption.
What is it?
Your own.
It's not corruption. That everybody was on lockdown. But at number 10, they were breaking the rule at number 10, Downing Street. You are defending that system, Mr. Ade. I haven't gone from Nigeria here to the UK. You are defending that system. It's all right. Just remember, Mr. Ade, there is God, though. There is God, though. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Ade, for calling in. You know, we know what the problems are, but you know, I said, and Peter had said that the reason he was surmising that it's because of a trust deficit that people are saying that take Mr. Kyari over to the UK, because we have examples. We don't need to go into them here. We have examples of things being undoable here. You get out of this legal jurisdiction. After all, it's not as if we have judiciary here, we have judges, we have police, all of those people. They couldn't convict, for instance, I remember now, I think former Governor Ibori, 170 something point accusation. Yeah. They couldn't confirm one, not even one. But Peter, I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know what to do. You've given the formula that interrogate this, but we hear that at every point, and this trust deficit, it still is with us. People are thinking that. Do you think we can actually go ahead and make an example? They couldn't make an example of anybody in the police force. Do you think we can make an example of anybody? Is it in our character? Is it in our national character to make an example of big men?
I think they can. I think if they want to make an example, they can. It's whether they have the commitment to that institution. You see, first thing is, no matter what you do, I'm able to talk to you now because that institution has to survive.
Yeah.
If we go ahead and say, let's do everything for this institution, it is not in the best interest of the police as an institution to be saying what they are saying. Even the press release from the Nigerian Police Force, I was so disappointed. It shows that they've not learned anything over the years.
Yeah.
What I expect the police to do, if Abba Kyari was a law officer, there would have been an in-room trial immediately. Now, your in-room trial, what came out of it? And this whole thing, you have enough evidence from America. That's enough for you to quickly say, based on this that we have, after 1 week, you are dismissed from the police force. And what you have done is that you've shielded the Nigerian police force from the FBI, thinking that they are both co-conspirators, that we are supporting what Abba Kyari is doing. And now Abba Kyari is involved in another cocaine deal, and you are coming out with a press statement accusing LGLA that they also have guys who are also corrupt.
They also have their own bad
deal
guys.
with yours first. Yes, you also have your own bad eggs. And what I told you earlier, I said it's a value thing. Because the Nigerian police or those officers in Nigerian police at the top hierarchy don't think that they owe us.
Okay.
They believe it is their right. They believe that they are doing us a favor to be IG, DIG. You are not doing us a favor. It's an honor out of 200 million people that you are IG.
Thank you very much, Peter. We're going to have to leave it here. Indeed, our appreciation, Peter, that we finally could, sort of get you to sit down. We've been on this for about a week, as you were saying. Former President TUC, former President of Pengusin, Peter Esele, thank you very much for your time. And also, I got to thank you as well. I was going to say comrade because you've been speaking like a comrade today. Lucius, thank you very much. Now, just as we go away, we're sad because a former guest, one of our guests on the program, Professor Tunde Samuel of Lagos, the shocking news came that he passed day before yesterday. That was Wednesday. He passed yesterday, and it's like condolences to his family, you know, and also all his associates. Professor Tunde Samuel. He was born in 1948, and he passed day before yesterday. No reason was given, but it's enough that it's sad that he had passed. He's one of the founding fathers of Lagos State University, both as a member of the Implementation Committee, and he's been a two-time member of the Provisional Governing Council. He was a pioneer provost of Michael Otedola College of Primary Education, Noforija Epe in Lagos State. That was between 1994 and 2002. He was a special advisor on education as well. And he was also a member of the Governance Advisory Council in Lagos State. He will be sorely missed by those who love him. Condolences to the family of Professor Tunde Samuel then. He's a regular guest on our program. So, well, thank you very much. That's our program today. Please join us on Monday for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folarin. Bye-bye for now.